I got a question for you. Are you living life, or is life living you? How bad do you want to be successful? Are you ready to level up in life? Are you ready to go to that next level? Are you sick of being average? I ask you again, are you living life, or is life living you? This August 4th, Orlando, Florida, Less Than Unstoppable, the kickoff tour. I'll be teaching a 4-hour, life-changing seminar on the art of greatness. Arise, champion. This event will sell out. Get your tickets now. Billy Alsbrooks live August 4th, Orlando, Florida. Be there. Get your tickets now at billyalsbrooks.com/events. A beautiful disaster. Preparation for the calling. Alone and lost. Anthem of the fallen. Fire truth music. You gotta trust me. Success is a romance. Prove that you love me. The voice that keeps on calling. Destiny hugging me. The shadows of past mistakes. The waiting, it bugs me. At war with average. Ruthless and demanding. By any righteous means necessary. I'm still standing. A masterpiece of grace. The whisper of failure. Don't buy the lies that doubt is trying to sell you. Reframe the perspective. Embrace the process. A gorgeous mess. Your faith, the litmus test. Colorful stepping stones. You're not alone. Breathing hours for hours. Take me home. Follow the smoke. Life is a journey. Fire truth music. Breathe. Keep burning. The power makes you feel alive. Illuminate the world with that gift you have on the inside. Hands restrained, signs sealed and delivered with rain. Take it off like a plane. Your whole world is about to change. Money, power, fame, the journey to finding your name. The closest around you will be last to see the change against the grain. The one they call strange. Those around you will be the last to see the change. Beautiful, strong, and amazing. Fire truth music, keep blazing. Day 6, your time is coming. A few weeks ago, I got booked to speak at this amazing college. But this college was literally out in the middle of nowhere. My hotel's an hour away. So on the day of the event, I go down to my car and I put the address of the college into my GPS and I begin my journey. And as soon as I get away from the exit where my hotel is, I do not pass another car, another business, or a house for 50 miles. From there all the way unto the campus. Even when I get to the college ground, there's nothing around there. The road just leads me right up to the college. The security guard opens the gate and then I drive onto this beautiful campus. See, I remember on the way there, beginning to doubt my own GPS, cause there was nothing on the left, nothing on the right, just country as far as you could see. And I'm like, this can't be where I'm going. The GPS says I'm on the right track, but everything I'm seeing with my eyes does not reflect what the GPS is saying. But something moved on my spirit in that moment and said, this is symbolic for life. That place you came from, that hotel you were just at with all the surrounding stuff, that was the comfort zone. And where you are going is the dream. The final destination in the GPS is the vision that you've been holding in your mind for so long. But along that journey, you will have to have faith to believe. Even when you don't see anything to the left or to the right or to the front or to the back of you, you just have to keep going and trusting and believing in that vision that you're holding in your mind. Just like the college had booked me to speak at that location, at that destination, destiny has booked you for success, has booked you for victory, has booked you for overcoming, for healing, for everything that you have in your mind, anything that you can believe for. Destiny will stand by you. Those who cannot overcome their physical eyes disqualify themselves from success. You have to master the art of blindness and stop seeing things as they are and start dreaming of what they could be, can be, and will be when you water that dream with grind. Just like I was alone on that road for 50 miles with not another car, a house, or business along that path. Sometimes you will have to take the journey to success, the journey to finding yourself, the journey to destiny. Sometimes you have to do it alone. The greater the size of the dream, the less those around you will understand it. But don't let them stop you from finding you. Don't let them rob you of greatness. Don't let them steal your destiny. The truth is, 99% of the people around you are local. And if you have global ambitions, when you start speaking big dreams to these people, it's gonna be like you're speaking Chinese. They are not gonna understand you. Expect this from them, and don't let it discourage you. When you dream massive. Small dreams give birth to lukewarm people, and the only people that want to be around lukewarm people are more lukewarm people. The day you start reaching, striving, and stretching for what the world says is impossible is the first day that you start living. Here's how I measure my dream to see if I'm dreaming big enough. I find average, everyday people, and I sit down with them and I tell them my dream. If they tell me I can do it, then I know I'm dreaming too small. I go back to the drawing board and I dream massive until those average, everyday people tell me I'm crazy. Then I plant my flag down in the dirt and I get to work and I do what the world says is impossible. Now I know a lot of you out there listening to me right now are seeking to find yourself. You're empty on the inside because you know you were meant for something greater than your life is reflecting right now. I get that. See, 3 months before my dad died in 2007, I retired from rapping. Up until that point, for 17 years, I had a clear vision for my life. Every day I got up with a purpose and knew exactly what I was working towards. My life was consolidated. I had one mind, one dream, one goal that I got up every day and aggressively pursued. But that season was over, and now my life had this big, huge void. I had lost my identity. The world knew me as the rapper. But now that I'm no longer rapping, who am I? For 10 years, I went on this journey seeking to find myself. The greatest success in life is to discover yourself, to discover you, to discover your own truth that God planted in you. For you to walk in the fullness of the power, the blessing, the victory that God has given you, first you must become self-aware. Until you become aligned with what God has made you to be, you will continue to struggle. The purpose of that struggle is to move you from where you are to where you are supposed to be. If you were comfortable, you would be content and you would never leave. Therefore, you would never walk in the fullness of the blessing and receive all the things that God wants you to receive. Hear me out. God has a plan for you. And every night, I go on a prayer walk, praying to God. And for 10 years during this wilderness season of not knowing who I was, I used to go out there every single night and throw my hands up to the sky and I'd say, Lord, who did you make me to be? Who am I? What is my calling? What am I missing? Why am I struggling? Something is wrong. Show me what it is. Piece by piece, he began to reveal to me who I was and what he had planned for me. It wasn't an overnight thing. Every so often along this journey, I would get this little piece, this little revelation of me, and I'd have to walk that piece out in faith in order to get the next piece. Now, some of you out there listening to me right now are waiting for full revelation before you begin to move. You won't take a step until you know exactly what the end result is gonna be. You're never gonna find it that way, because that way doesn't require faith. It's impossible to please him without faith. So you're gonna have to step out into the unknown with that little piece that he gives you. You see, you don't need the end piece. All you need is the next piece. The next piece will bring you to the next piece, and that piece to the next piece until you get to the end. Your true calling for your life will always be attached to fire. The things that you are most passionate about are clues to the things that you have been assigned to do here on earth. The key to finding yourself is following the smoke. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And where the fire is, you are, and God is. Success requires vibrating at a higher level. In order to get to that level, you need energy, and that energy is found in your passion. If you're trying to find yourself, you have to fully examine your life. Think back. As far as you can think, there are clues from day one pointing you to you. When I was 6 years old, my mother and father went Amway, and they used to bring me to these big conventions and seminars that they used to have all over the United States. I used to bring my little tape recorder with me that I had gotten for Christmas. and I'd be sitting there with the record button on, listening to some of the greatest motivational speakers to ever walk a stage. See, I was being groomed way back then for what I'm doing now. I had a studio in my house for years when I was doing the rapping. And when I retired, I just left it there. The mic was in the center of the room, and I never moved it. Every night, when I'd go out to do my prayer walk, as I mentioned before, I'd walk right by that microphone. I'd go out there and do my hour prayer time, come back inside and have to walk right by that mic again on the way to the bedroom. I went out there for years asking God, what is my calling? What have you assigned me to do? What is my gift? Why are you not helping me? Why are you not pointing to me? And every night I'd walk inside and walk right by the thing God had assigned me to do. It was right in front of me. Now I ask you, what are you missing? What is your microphone? Sometimes you is right in front of you. There's an old saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. And it's the same with life. Sometimes life is screaming so loud at us that we can't hear it. Everything that you have been looking for is right in front of you. Everything that you need to fulfill your destiny is on the inside of you. God has equipped you already for everything you need to succeed in life. Follow the smoke until you find yourself. Fire, truth, music. You're closer than you think. Arise, champion. This is Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. And to God be the glory. To book Billy Alsbrooks to speak at your next event, call 407-310-3275.
As Franz Kafka said, you are free. That is why you are lost. Look around you. There are no guardrails on your life. The reality is that people have tried to paint a picture for you that says that there are certain things that are right. They've tried to paint a world for you that has a path well laid for it for you to follow. Go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a job, retire. That's the plan that everybody wants you to believe is really the plan. But the reality is that you are free to choose anything you want. The reality is that you can go in any path you want. The reality is that path is an illusion. The truth of life is you can go anywhere you want. You can be anything that you want. You can become anyone you want to become. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. At the end of the day, you get to construct yourself. You get to decide what it is that you want to believe, as long as you're not violating the laws of physics. Even physics is a game of maybe. Even physics is uncertain and unknown. At the end of the day, everything that you get to do, you get to choose, you get to create, you get to build something that you want to be. And in that, that's where people get lost. They don't understand that the control is theirs. They're lost because they think there's a path. They think there's a way forward. And emotionally, it doesn't resonate. Emotionally, they're unable to make it feel real because it doesn't feel real. They feel lost. They're unsure. They don't know where to go or who to become or even who they are. And that sense of being lost comes from the freedom of being able to choose anything you want. But no one told you that you could choose. But as Tupac Shakur said, reality is wrong. Dreams are for real. It's the dream that you want to focus on. The dream is your ability to construct that path. The dream is you saying, this is the way that I want to walk. The dream is you saying all of this nothingness, all of this mass confusion, all of this probability and uncertainty. I am going to manifest something real and concrete and directional in my life. I choose to be who I am. I choose to be who I become. I choose to build something with my hands, to create something that has never been seen before, to do something that people have never done before, to believe in things that other people cannot see. That dream is my reality. That dream is what I'm going to bring into existence. That dream is the thing that I believe in. And in believing in that dream and building that path and finding out and deciding who you want to be, for the first time you will find yourself in yourself becoming. So go become what you want to be. Don't worry about walking somebody else's path. As Václav Havel said, work for something because it is good, not just because it stands a chance to succeed. And this is something that I think a lot of people misunderstand. They think that the goal of their life is to identify something that'll work, to identify something that has the odds stacked in its favor, rather than to think about what matters, what's important. Because if something is important, if it speaks to you, if it's going to give resonance to your life, then it's worth doing, even if it's something that is almost guaranteed to fail. When something matters enough, regardless of the odds, it's worth engaging with, because even in the pursuit, you can find meaning. And as humans, one of the things that we hunger for most is purpose and meaning, but you can't have that purpose and meaning without the thing that you're pursuing be something that you believe to be worthwhile. So don't worry about whether or not it succeeds. Ask only about whether or not it's going to light you on fire. Ask only if in those dark moments that it will give you that sense of mattering to this world, that even in the failure, do you learn something about yourself? Do you see the truth that you matter? And that even as a single person, even as one individual, you can echo through this world. But that will never happen by pursuing something small. That will never happen by pursuing something simply because it can win. It will only happen by pursuing something that matters. And in that, if you pursue something that matters and you're able to get to the point where you can see it across the finish line, or at least advance it and make it a step closer to becoming real, in that we realize how societies really are transformed. In that, and trying the big, the impossible, dreaming that thing that nobody else is even willing to talk about. In dreaming that, it is the crazy ones who are able to change the world, because the crazy ones allowed themselves to believe. They allowed themselves to believe that against all the odds, a world that does not yet exist could actually exist. And as Ralph Marsden said, welcome those big, sticky, complicated problems. In them are your most powerful opportunities. And that's it. The big problems, the ones that matter, the things that will give you purpose and meaning in your life, they're going to be hard. But if you can look at the hard things and show up and push every day and keep striving, and when you fall down, pick yourself back up and focus only on one thing, not whether or not you're going to win, but whether or not it mattered that you played. If you do that, every sacrifice in your life will be worth it. And if not, nothing you gain will have mattered. As Friedrich Nietzsche said, many are stubborn in pursuit of the path they have chosen, few in pursuit of the goal. And that's one of the things that really trips people up. At the end of the day, a path is an option. It's one of the ways forward, but it's the thing that you're doing right now today. So people get really focused on that. They make their happiness built around that. They think about that as the thing. But as the old saying goes, don't confuse the finger with the moon that it's pointing at. That's where you've got to be really careful. At the end of the day, the goal is the thing that you're trying to achieve. The goal is what you're trying to get. The path is irrelevant. The path is really your best guess. It's the thing you think is going to work. But if you become myopically focused on that, if you think that the path really is the end thing, if you think the finger actually is the moon, then you miss the objective to which you're fighting for. Then you're not going to have the energy to keep pushing when things get really hard, because you're going to have mistaken the way of getting there with the destination itself. And I think that people a lot of times throw hate on having a destination, on building towards some big goal, of having some grand thing that they're chasing. But as Einstein said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people, not to things. And the reason that he said that, people and things, they change. You've got no control over them. At the end of the day, the only thing that you really control is yourself. At the end of the day, the only thing that you can hope for is to be going after something that has meaning, something that has purpose, something that really gives you a reason for being, that directs your actions, that becomes the filter by which you judge everything, that really becomes the center, the gravitational center of your own universe.
If you don't seize the moment will find someone else who will. I didn't come to just motivate you. I came to transform your life. Pursue the fire, embrace the new, stay in truth in all that you do. Breathe the real, you are enough. No judgment at all, just radiate love, the world is yours. That desire for more, as the sweat pours, I say it again, the world is yours. There ain't no slacking up, cause the words are only good as the actions that are backing them up. Greatness, you are able, but you gotta stop giving average a seat at the table. Lottery pick, one and done. You can either look up at the stars or you can become one. My gift to you, a brand new attitude. Complacency is just as dangerous as ingratitude. Now don't get me wrong, I won't judge you, but I will call you out and demand from you that greatness inside of you. To conquer the highest levels of life, one must not only get used to pain, but become immune to it. Champions stare at the things that make them uncomfortable until uncomfortable bows to them. Most people love the idea of being successful. They just don't love it enough to actually do the things that it takes to make it happen. Actions are the credit line that allows spoken words to purchase the dream. It's not all about just talking. You gotta move from talking to doing. If you don't seize the moment will find someone else who will. The way you speak, the way you act, the way you carry yourself teaches the world how to approach you. Just because you've done something or been a certain way all your life doesn't mean that's the real you. That's just the version that you've accepted and consistently acknowledged. Your dreams are constantly seeking the ground to build themselves upon. And that foundation is your faith to step fully into greatness. You have to awaken to the fact that you are already that which you seek. If you don't seize the moment will find someone else who will. The masses only see opportunities on Black Friday. Successful people train their mind to see opportunities every day. I say it again, the world is yours. Discipline is sexy. Grind is cologne. Sweat is lingerie. Work is seductive. How attractive are you based on that standard? I'm about to give you the $1 million lottery ticket right here. But the question is, will you cash it in? If you want to be successful at the highest levels, you gotta stop chasing the trends, seeking followers, and getting your worth from social media likes. Just be yourself. Set yourself on fire with passion and the world will come to you. See, people who are real, authentic, and willing to be vulnerable on a big stage are rare. This is the ticket. You gotta stand in the center of truth and refuse to move from it. Don't budge. Trust the process and let the world come to you. Everybody's seeking truth. Once you wrap yourself in it, the whole world is yours. I say it again, the whole world is yours. Truth is the couture for greatness. You can either serve tomorrow, or you can make tomorrow serve you. You can either look up and admire the stars, or you can become one. The world is yours. Bold, seeking real, raw, expressing how you feel, mentally vulnerable, emotionally naked, unstoppable, seizing the blessing. The art of greatness, paint maestro. Get back up, champion, and reload. Explode with awareness of who you are. A product of God, a shining star, alive. I say champions never die. A warrior's heart designed to survive. Explode with awareness of who you are. A product of God, a shining star. Truth is the couture for greatness. No more excuses. The world is yours. Pursue the fire. Embrace the new. Stay in truth in all that you do. Breathe the real. You are enough. No judgment at all. Just radiate love. Pursue the fire. Embrace the new. Stay in truth in all that you do. Breathe the real. You are enough. No judgment at all. Just radiate love. Rise, champion. The world is yours. This is Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory. Breathe. Well. Live. Blessed and unstoppable. Join the movement. Get your books and t-shirts now.
The trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. And that's where people lose years of their life. There's so much busyness in running up and down the field. There's so much sense of action and accomplishment that they realize that there's no objective because they don't know what they're reaching for. They don't know what their goal is. And as deadly simple as that sounds, step number one, have a goal. Make it specific. Make sure you know the rules of the game you're playing. Make sure you know what a win looks like. In fact, that may be the most important question that you could ask yourself. The most pointed thing that you could determine in your life is to know, what does it look like to win? Once you know what it looks like to win, then you can work backwards. Then you can figure out what you need to do to score. Then you can figure out the skills that you're going to need in order to get great, in order to go out and dominate, in order to be better than anyone that has ever come before you. But to do that, you've got to know what your goal is. And once you have that, as Dale Carnegie said, if you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. So now you have your goal. Now you're telling people what you're going to do. Now you're telling yourself who you're going to become. You're building something up inside of you, but are you actually taking the action? Are you actually getting out and doing something about it? And it is terrifying to me how people can pacify themselves with a sense of accomplishment simply by having a goal, simply by telling people that they're going to do something, simply by fantasizing about what they're going to accomplish. And let me tell you right now, the thing that separates the people who dream from the people who execute is a willingness to act. And at the end of the day, nothing is going to stop you. Not fear, not inability, not inadequacy. The only thing that will stop you is failing to start. Failing to start is your mortal enemy. You've got to find a way to get yourself going. You've got to find a way to take that desire, that interest in you, and turn it into a raging inferno, something that's going to get you moving and going ahead, that will trample everything in its path. Once you're able to do that, nothing, and I mean nothing, will be able to stop you. As John Henrik Clarke said, powerful people cannot afford to educate the people that they oppress. Because once you are truly educated, you will not ask for power, you will take it. I have the chills right now, and I want everyone listening to this to really think about that. Power is not given, it is assumed. If you want something in your life, you've got to become capable of taking it. And that's the whole point behind getting educated. Don't think about education as flipping through a bunch of books. Getting educated is about gaining knowledge, knowledge that has utility, knowledge that can be put to use in service of something. But you've got to know what that in service of is. What are you trying to do? Why are you trying to educate yourself? And are you waiting? Are you asking politely if you can be educated? Or are you grabbing the things that you need in order to learn and insisting of yourself that you gain that knowledge, that you begin to empower yourself, that you build yourself into someone who cannot be conquered. And as Walt Whitman said, I live to be the ruler of life, not a slave, to meet life as a powerful conqueror, and nothing exterior to me will ever take command of me. Now, if you're going to live by those words, you are going to have to empower yourself. You are going to have to become capable of something tomorrow that you are not capable of today, and the only way to do that is to educate yourself. But don't get trapped in other people's definition of education. Education is not sitting blindly in a classroom. Education is not simply working your way through Wikipedia. Education is about understanding what you're trying to accomplish and getting the knowledge that you need in order to bend reality to your will. And this is the thing that drives me crazy about how people approach education. At the end of the day, knowledge, skills, they are designed to have real world impact. They are designed to give you the ability to do something that influences this world. They are designed to make you capable of something that you weren't capable of before. When it is blind learning, when you think it's to impress your parents or to get an A on the test or to make your manager at work happy, you have already lost. The point of knowledge is to make sure that you can close your eyes and envision a world, open your eyes and then make that world come true. The point of knowledge is to control your own life. Never forget that. As Václav Havel said, work for something because it is good, not just because it stands a chance to succeed. And this is something that I think a lot of people misunderstand. They think that the goal of their life is to identify something that'll work, to identify something that has the odds stacked in its favor, rather than to think about what matters, what's important. Because if something is important, if it speaks to you, if it's going to give resonance to your life, then it's worth doing, even if it's something that is almost guaranteed to fail. When something matters enough, regardless of the odds, it's worth engaging with, because even in the pursuit, you can find meaning. And as humans, one of the things that we hunger for most is purpose and meaning, but you can't have that purpose and meaning without the thing that you're pursuing be something that you believe to be worthwhile. So don't worry about whether or not it succeeds. Ask only about whether or not it's going to light you on fire. Ask only if in those dark moments that it will give you that sense of mattering to this world, that even in the failure, do you learn something about yourself? Do you see the truth that you matter? And that even as a single person, even as one individual, you can echo through this world. But that will never happen by pursuing something small. That will never happen by pursuing something simply because it can win. It will only happen by pursuing something that matters. And in that, if you pursue something that matters and you're able to get to the point where you can see it across the finish line, or at least advance it and make it a step closer to becoming real, in that we realize how societies really are transformed. In that, and trying the big, the impossible, dreaming that thing that nobody else is even willing to talk about. In dreaming that, it is the crazy ones who are able to change the world, because the crazy ones allowed themselves to believe. They allowed themselves to believe that against all the odds, a world that does not yet exist could actually exist. And as Ralph Marsden said, welcome those big, sticky, complicated problems. In them are your most powerful opportunities. And that's it. The big problems, the ones that matter, the things that will give you purpose and meaning in your life, they're going to be hard. But if you can look at the hard things and show up and push every day and keep striving, and when you fall down, pick yourself back up and focus only on one thing, not whether or not you're going to win, but whether or not it mattered that you played. If you do that, every sacrifice in your life will be worth it. And if not, nothing you gain will have mattered. As Friedrich Nietzsche said, many are stubborn in pursuit of the path they have chosen, few in pursuit of the goal. And that's one of the things that really trips people up. At the end of the day, a path is an option. It's one of the ways forward, but it's the thing that you're doing right now today. So people get really focused on that. They make their happiness built around that. They think about that as the thing. But as the old saying goes, don't confuse the finger with the moon that it's pointing at. That's where you've got to be really careful. At the end of the day, the goal is the thing that you're trying to achieve. The goal is what you're trying to get. The path is irrelevant. The path is really your best guess. It's the thing you think is going to work. But if you become myopically focused on that, if you think that the path really is the end thing, if you think the finger actually is the moon, then you miss the objective to which you're fighting for. Then you're not going to have the energy to keep pushing when things get really hard, because you're going to have mistaken the way of getting there with the destination itself. And I think that people a lot of times throw hate on having a destination, on building towards some big goal, of having some grand thing that they're chasing. But as Einstein said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people, not to things. And the reason that he said that, people and things, they change. You've got no control over them. At the end of the day, the only thing that you really control is yourself. At the end of the day, the only thing that you can hope for is to be going after something that has meaning, something that has purpose, something that really gives you a reason for being, that directs your actions, that becomes the filter by which you judge everything, that really becomes the center, the gravitational center of your own universe. But it's the goal, not the path. So what is it that you really want? You have to identify that. To me, everything in life starts with a goal, and then work your way backwards. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in other people and putting your happiness in somebody else and finding purpose in something else and trying to obtain things. Have it be something that you're trying to accomplish. Have it be something that you're trying to become. And once you're on the path to becoming, then you can find real happiness.
Blessed and unstoppable. Success starts with putting the right things into your mind. And my new book, Blessed and Unstoppable, was strategically designed to align your mind with the laws of success. This curriculum will teach you the inner mechanics required to go from average to phenomenal. From living a life with limits to being blessed and unstoppable. As you follow this guide step by step, amazing breakthroughs will happen. New doors of opportunity will open, and favor will begin to chase you down. Blessed and Unstoppable is a 31-day devotional on the laws of success. This book will instigate the thought process and actions required to transform your life. Each day has a Bible verse, a teaching on that day's principle, a positive affirmation, a prayer for the day, self-assessment questions, success quotes, action steps, and a powerful inspirational message. Regardless of what field you're in, Blessed and Unstoppable is your blueprint for success. Get your copy at blessedandunstoppable.com. Also available on Amazon.